So you just got yourself a new iPad. Well, this is the iPad A16. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some settings you need to turn on right now to make your usage feel much smoother and also enhance the usage in general. I'm pretty sure you might have seen this on other devices, and this is giving feedbacks on applications or apps you download. Now, the very first thing has to do with apps. Now, you know, most apps do ask you to rate their applications and all those kind of things. And if this is something you do not really like, you can easily have this turned off. And to do this on your iPad, you want to head over to settings, then you scroll down to apps, then you select App Store. Now, right on this page, you should see in-app ratings and reviews, and make sure you have this turned off. Now, once you have this turned off, you're not going to be getting any pop-up asking you to rate the application or the app you are using. Now, the next settings to enable, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys might find this helpful, is making changes to these icons. If you are okay with this, then I think you can skip to the next settings. But if this is something that really do not look too good for you and you want it to look a little bit bigger, this is how you can do it on your iPad. So you head over to settings again, then now you want to scroll down to display and brightness. Now you want to scroll down to home screen and app library. Right on this page, you're going to see this very first option, which is use large app icons. You want to make sure you have this turned on, and that's it. So you swipe up and now your home screen icons should look this big or large, making it easy for you to find any app or just open any app you want to. So I'm pretty sure you're going to be using Safari a lot on this iPad, or maybe you have other browsers you might be using. But just in case you have to use Safari on your iPad, you know, this is how the tab is looking like right now, but you can make it look compact and would also give you more space here on the screen. You head over to settings, then now you want to scroll down, you go to apps, then you want to scroll down again, then you should see Safari. You should see Safari here. You select Safari, then you want to scroll down again to tabs. Now, right under the tabs category, you just select compact tab bar, and when you go back to the Safari app, this is how your tabs is going to look like. This looks much modern, and as you can see, the previous tab took some space, but you now have that space, which is also giving, like, you can have more information show up there rather than the tabs showing there. Since you are in Safari, I'm pretty sure you are definitely going to search for something right on Google. Now, if you struggle a lot typing this way, this is something you can do to make the typing process very easy for you. So let's say you just want to type something. Once your keyboard pops out like this, with your two fingers, you can pinch in to enable mini keyboard. And with this, you should be able to easily type even with your one hand. So you can easily do this, and you should be able to type freely with your thumb without stressing yourself out. It should work this way as well. Just in case you want to bring this back, you do the same thing with your two fingers, and this is going to reset or restore to its default keyboard size. Okay, so this is what you call the dock. Am I pronouncing it well? Dock. Yeah, this is what is called the dock, and you can make it look much better. So as you can see here, we have the app icon tab here, which allows you to see all apps on your iPad, but you can easily do this to also view all apps on your iPad. Now, to change this or to make changes to this to make it to look much better, you want to head over back into settings. Then this time around, you go to apps. Then this time around, you go to, you select home screen and app library. Now, under the dock section, this is it. So under the dock section, you want to make sure you have show app library in dock. And as you can see, we no more have it here. You can leave this on, which is show suggested and recent apps. So as you can see, settings is an app we just opened, and any recent app you open is going to show here. So it makes it very easy to go back to the app you actually opened, and no need to go through the app library to open that app again. Or if you just want it to look much more compact, you can turn this off, and this is how it's going to look like. this looks very minimal. If you're into something like that, you can just do this. I think you can add more apps if you want to. You can, okay, you can rearrange as well if you want to. Now for this feature, by default, it's not turned on. But before I show you what I'm actually talking about, here's another settings you need to turn on. So you head over to settings, then right inside settings, you want to scroll down to multitasking and gestures. Right here, you want to select multitasking and gestures. Now you scroll down and you want to make sure you have this turned on, 4 and 5 finger gestures. So what this means is, or once you have this turned on, is you can easily go into your home screen with just your 5 fingers like this. So you pinch in, sorry. Okay, so it's working now. So as you can see, this is going to take you back to your home screen. And you see what we talked about, the recent thing. I have to now search for settings, then back into settings. But if you already have the recent tab showing here, you can easily get back into the app you opened. Now back to what we're actually talking about. And you can also switch between apps with your 4 fingers just like this. So you go this way and you can do this. So this is going to, with this, you can easily switch between apps using this 4 finger gesture. So let's say you are scrolling and you just want to screenshot something. To easily do the screenshot, you do not need to do the key combination in order to take the screenshot. To easily capture screenshot, you can just swipe up from the left button just like this, and it's going to take a screenshot. You can delete, copy, you can save this to photo immediately. Automatically it's going to be saved to photos. You can also save to files, save to quick notes, and you can delete if you want to. You can also make some adjustments. You can crop in. Now the next thing you want to do is, let's say you were browsing or you are trying to read something on the iPad and you actually want to keep or take notes alongside. Now to easily do this, you can swipe up from the right corner here and this should open up a note and you can easily start taking your note. Once you are done, you can put this back too. So let's go over it again. This direction brings up the note. Then you can take this back. You do this to take screenshots and you can save this if you want. Now before we head into the battery section, this is another thing you can also enable on your iPad. You want to actually make Chrome your default app. You can just head over to settings. Once you go to settings, you want to scroll down to apps right here and you should see this settings here, which allows you to set default apps. So you can set default apps for email, message, calling, browsing app, translation, keyboard as well. So let's say you download G keyboard or any other keyboard, you can have this set as your default keyboard or emailing app once you head over to this settings page here. Since this is a new iPad and I'm pretty sure you also have a new iPad, this should also work on older iPads as well. It works on this one too. So yeah, so you can just head over to settings to prolong battery life. I think this one doesn't have this feature, but to prolong battery life on your iPad, you want to head over to settings, then you scroll down to battery. Now right on this page, you want to select battery health and you should have this information here. Battery health, maximum capacity is 100, cycle count is 1, and this feature, which is 80% limit. Now when you have this turned on, which is the 80% limit, is going to prevent your battery from charging, which is going to exceed 80%. In this sense, having this turned on is helping you save or prolong your battery life. Now you want to enable these settings, which is 80% limit. And once you have this turned on, your iPad is only going to charge up to 80% when you have it connected to power. So when you drain the battery and you are charging, it's only going to charge to 80%. And what this does is it prevents your battery from having too much charging cycles, and also it protects the battery as you keep using the device, which prevents wear and tear on the battery itself. And that's exactly what this feature does. So with this settings turned on, would help prolong the lifespan of your iPad's battery right here. So you do not need to change it anytime soon or very soon. Now, another way to improve or have modules in your iPad is to make changes to the display auto timeout. So you head over to, still inside settings, you select display and brightness, and right here you should see auto lock. I normally have mine set to 2 minutes, but you can have this set to 2 or 5 minutes, and probably I mostly prefer to select 2 minutes, but based on your preference you can have it set to 5 minutes. I think going downwards would not be a great idea, and if you forget to turn off your display or something, it's definitely going to drain out all the energy out of your battery, and who knows, you needed that iPad for an assignment or something. Yeah, so mostly have it set to 2 minutes or 5 minutes. And even if your iPad has an OLED display, this can be a big disadvantage if you have it set to never 15 minutes or 10 minutes, because there's something called screen bends. And when there's an image on the screen for a prolonged period, so let's say this page has been on the screen for a prolonged period, you would see an imprint of this page. Even though you swipe or you go back to another page or something, you are still going to have these showing if you have it set to never. And it's something you normally do if you have an AMOLED display. That's something you can face. So well, this is everything, and if you found this video very helpful, make sure to leave a like, and please leave your comment as well. I would also like to know if there's any settings or features you normally turn on whenever you get a new iPad, or even older ones as well, which makes your usage on the iPad easy and smooth. Well, stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.